At the beginning of the movie, doctors try to resuscitate a patient in cardiac arrest. The male nurse watches from the side. They fail to save him. Amy Logren is a nurse at a New Jersey hospital. She cares for an elderly patient, Anna Martinez, and secretly lets her husband stay overnight. She gets reprimanded for that, but she's told they've hired someone for the night shift. After a night on duty, she gets home when the kids have already left for school with the nanny, who spends all her time with them. Such a routine is ruining Amy's health. The doctor warns that a couple more weeks like this and a heart attack is possible. Amy needs rest until her transplant, but she can't take sick leave because she has no insurance, and she needs a year of work to qualify. He asks her to explain the symptoms to the kids in case of an emergency. Money troubles hound the woman. Everything goes to the nanny and doctors, and she's barely scraping by. On her next shift, Amy meets the new male nurse, Charles Cullen, gives him a quick tour, and shows how to use the Pyxis medication cabinet. Charlie says he has lots of experience since he has worked at many hospitals and knows Lori, Amy's former classmate. She shows him how gently she looks after Anna Martinez, and the guy tries to follow her example. After checking on patients, he suggests they grab lunch. The nurse shares her salad with him. The new acquaintance says he has 2 daughters, 4 and 7, but they live with their mother 6 hours away. While tending to a patient, Amy feels unwell and steps away, barely breathing. Charlie sits beside her and helps her steady her breathing. Amy confesses that she has cardiomyopathy, blood clots on her heart, and asks him not to tell the bosses, because if they find out, she'll be fired. She needs to work 4 more months to get insurance and take sick leave. He promises to be there for her, and now drives her to work. On shift, Amy learns that Anna Martinez died under unclear circumstances. While they straighten the room, Charlie says his mother died in a hospital too. They even lost her body because nobody cared. Anna's husband asks to speak with Amy, and she supports him while Charlie finishes preparing the body. 7 weeks later, detectives start investigating the death. The cause remains unknown. At a conference where doctors and investigators meet, a theory is floated about an antibiotic allergy, but the reaction looks odd, and there's no proof the drug was administered deliberately. The body was released to the family, but they didn't file a claim because they didn't know about the suspicious circumstances. When detectives decide to exhume the body, it turns out it's already been cremated. The new acquaintance spends time with Amy's family and helps her daughter learn apart. Investigators Danny and Tim study the case files and land on Charles Cullen. He once had an incident at a Pennsylvania hospital. He slashed a colleague's tires after an argument, but the charges were dropped. Danny is sure the matter was hushed up for money, and the true cause of death is being hidden. Linda Guerin, the hospital's risk manager, informs the staff about a joint investigation with police. Everyone will be interviewed. A lawyer warns that disclosing information without the hospital's attorney present means immediate dismissal. That annoys the detectives. They think with Linda present, the staff will be scared to speak frankly, but the prosecutor agrees with the restriction. Danny finds it strange that the hospital waited 7 weeks before calling the police. Amy is called in for questioning. In the room are the 2 detectives and Linda. She recalls that Anna's death was sudden. That's rare. Linda steps out, and Danny immediately asks about the lab tests. Amy notices that insulin is listed in the paperwork. If it was actually administered, it could have caused the patient's death. Linda comes back in, and the investigators hide the documents. Asked about Charlie, she answers that they work together on night shifts, and Anna died during the day. The men demand the investigative materials, and Linda grudgingly promises to hand them over tomorrow. Later, Amy saves a patient's life by helping during a code. She feels sick again and slips away to the med room. Charlie offers her a pill from a patient drawer. Amy fears he'll be fired, but he shares a trick. If you press cancel on the Pyxis in time, the drawer still opens. Charlie picks her up from the doctor again and asks her to explain the signs of a heart attack to Alex in case he isn't around. He reminds her there are only 2 months left and promises to be by her side. Together, they tell her daughter what's happening with Mom and ask her to call an ambulance at any hint of trouble. Danny and Tim call the hospital where Cullen used to work. The attorney refuses to provide information. It's confidential. Tim doesn't like how everyone goes quiet when Charlie's name comes up. They also get the investigative materials, a thin folder, which really surprises the detectives. Danny meets with Linda Garon and asks about the Pyxis. He requests the logs of all medication requests, but she says the information is deleted monthly. Danny accuses her of hiding evidence, but Linda excuses it as prep for a meeting. As he's about to leave, she hears Danny order her back to the table. He realizes she knows perfectly well what's going on. Soon, Amy meets a new patient, accident victim Kelly Anderson, along with her husband Tom and their infant Vanessa. Later, over dinner, she talks life with Charlie, and at home, she does her daughter's hair before school. Danny finds another suspicious substance in Anna Martinez's labs, digoxin. The boss says Linda complained about threats, and the detectives are banned from the hospital. Tim is outraged because they're investigating a murder, but the boss answers that without a body and autopsy, they have no case. Amy brings Kelly a meal and asks about Vanessa, but she doesn't remember the baby. Seeing the decline, Amy checks the monitors. No response. She urgently calls Tom and asks him to come. In the chart, she spots insulin, rushes to save the patient, but it's no use. Kelly dies. Amy informs Tom, who arrives at the hospital. Outside Amy's house, Danny and Tim are waiting for her. The woman thinks it's about Kelly Anderson's death, but the detectives don't know about it. Danny asks whether Charlie visited Kelly. Amy defends him because she trusts him, but Danny reminds her Charlie has cycled through 9 hospitals and none of his former co-workers want to talk about him. The detective gives Amy his card in case she changes her mind. The woman is uneasy but tries not to believe the worst. She meets her old friend Lori, whom Charlie said he knew. They haven't seen each other in over 10 years. Amy immediately asks about Cullen. Lori admits there were rumors he was tied to a patient's death. Insulin was found in the victim. While Charlie worked, codes happened every night, and after he left, once a month. People said he pierced IV bags and injected the drug. Amy starts to realize Danny was right. She races to the hospital despite the pain in her heart and spots a puncture in one of the IV bags. She gets worse. She loses consciousness and wakes in the ICU. Charlie is sitting beside her. Panicking, the woman asks to be discharged and taken home. Charlie drives her, but she asks him not to come in because she wants to get rid of the killer's company as fast as possible. The next day, Amy goes to the police and tells Danny and Tim everything, but asks them to keep it quiet, otherwise she'll be fired. She warns that Charlie may be injecting not only insulin, but any clear liquid. Danny shows her a Pyxis report, and Amy insists the system stores all data from day one. She suggests printing the logs under Charlie's name to check whether he pulled insulin on the day Anna died. But Tim reminds her the body was cremated, and they need other proof. So Amy asks Tom to allow an autopsy of Kelly's body, and he agrees. The woman watches how Charlie hangs IVs, and after he leaves, she swaps the bag. Then she prints the medication dispense reports and hands them to the police. Kelly's autopsy confirms it. Digoxin and insulin are in the system. However, the boss points out that the Pyxis report has a cancelled flag. Amy explains that this is a system vulnerability. If you press cancel at the right moment, the drawer opens, but the software records that nothing was dispensed. The detectives are left without proof again. The woman is sure Linda Garon knows everything. After all, she used to be a nurse herself. Later, Linda and the hospital's attorney fire Charlie over discrepancies in his prior employment records. To everyone's surprise, he calmly signs the papers. The police learn about the firing. Danny says Cullen's crimes won't stop because he'll just get hired at another hospital. Amy gets home, where a nice dinner is ready, and finds Charlie sitting with her daughters instead of the nanny. Her mood tanks, and she sends the kids to their rooms. Charlie thinks Amy is upset about the firing and complains about his ex-wife, who won't let him see the kids and accuses him of tormenting the dog. He offers to help with the girls during her surgery. Amy gently hints that she wants time alone with her children. Charlie leaves, assuring her everything will be fine. Amy calls Charlie from the police station. They're monitoring the call. She pretends she misses him and is sad he's no longer at work with her. She suggests meeting for lunch on Saturday. The detectives prepare to draw him into a confession. At the cafe, the woman's pulse races with nerves. Charlie says he's starting a shift that evening at a new hospital, Emsworth. She says there are rumors about him, but he goes quiet, switching the topic to the kids and saying he can see them now. Yet Amy pushes to talk about Parkfield. Charlie leaves, promising to call. The detectives come to her and arrest Charlie on his way to the hospital, then bring him to the station. There he keeps saying, "I can't," refusing to explain why he did it, how many IV bags he pierced, and how many people he killed. Danny tells Amy that Charlie is silent, and by law they'll have to release him tomorrow. So Amy goes to him herself, speaking as a friend. She can't understand how someone so kind could kill, apologizes for lying, and asks for the truth. Charlie confesses and names some of his victims. A Chiron reports that to avoid the death penalty, Charlie confessed to killing 29 people, but in reality, the victims numbered around 400. He never explained his motives. He is now serving a life sentence. A nurse with 16 years' experience, he was suspected at most hospitals, but it took a very long time to catch him in the act. No criminal cases were brought against the hospitals. In the finale, we're told Amy had heart surgery and now lives with her daughters in Florida, continuing to be a good nurse. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.